Was the temple in Jerusalem holy in and of itself? Could stone, gold, and cedar truly be the dwelling place of God? Or was it merely a sign of something far greater, a spiritual reality? The temple in Israel was the central place of worship. There sacrifices were offered, priests ministered, and the Ark of the Covenant rested. But was the structure itself holy? Or was it only a shadow of God's greater plan? This question also touches us today. How do we understand a holy place? Does God dwell in walls made with hands? Or does he reveal himself by his Spirit? 1. The physical and spiritual background. Before the temple, Israel had the tabernacle, the portable tent of meeting. It was a sign that God went with his people. He was not bound to one location. King David captured Jerusalem and made it the capital, 2 Samuel 5. He desired to build the temple, but it was his son Solomon who ultimately carried it out. 1 Kings 1-2. Interestingly, in 1 Chronicles 28:12 we read, "And the pattern of all that he had by the Spirit." The temple, therefore, was not merely an architectural project. It was a spiritual revelation. In the Gospel of John we read of Christ, "And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us." John 1:14. The word "dwelt" literally carries the idea of tabernacled. This suggests that the true temple is not a building, but a person and the work of the Spirit. 2. The construction of the temple. The temple was built on Mount Moriah, 2 Chronicles 3:1, the very place where Abraham was to offer Isaac. This alone points to a deeper meaning of sacrifice and covenant. Its construction is described in 1 Kings 5:8 and 2 Chronicles 2-7. Solomon entered into agreement with King Hiram of Tyre. One supplied grain and oil. The other provided cedar and skilled craftsmen. Symbolically, this cooperation may be seen as part of a greater divine plan, the unfolding of spiritual salvation for the elect, extending beyond Israel to the nations, the Gentiles. The temple had 3 main sections. The porch, an invitation to enter, a picture of the call through the word. The holy place, accessible to priests, a picture of the spiritual service of the redeemed. The most holy place, containing the Ark of the Covenant, symbolizing God's presence in the Holy Spirit. Yet even Solomon declared at the dedication, "But will God indeed dwell on the earth? Behold, the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain thee." 1 Kings 8:27. This is crucial. God is not confined to walls. 3. The forewarning of fall. After Solomon's death, the kingdom divided, north and south, Israel and Judah. Idolatry arose. Injustice increased. The law was broken. The problem was not the absence of a temple. The problem was unfaithfulness to the covenant. The division itself reflects spiritual deficiency and the influence of error, human-designed salvation, private interpretation, and a merely outward, physical understanding of worship. 4. The destruction of the temple. 2 Kings 24:25 and 2 Chronicles 36. We read of Jerusalem's conquest by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon. The temple was burned, its vessels taken, and the people carried away into exile. This was a theological shock. How could God allow his house to be destroyed? The answer seems clear. The building was never a guarantee of salvation. The covenant was not founded upon walls, but upon a living spiritual relationship with God. Isaiah, speaking of the king of Babylon, uses symbolic language. Isaiah 14:4-12-15, describing pride and spiritual rebellion, often understood as imagery reflecting the spirit of Satan. The destruction of the temple demonstrated that man cannot save himself through works or outward religious forms. 5. The promise of restoration. The promise of return from exile and the rebuilding of the temple was a sign of hope. God does not abandon his plan concerning his elect, spiritual Israel. Ultimately, the New Testament reveals that the true temple is Christ himself and the community of the elect, united in the Holy Spirit, the place where the Spirit works. The Bible shows that the temple was a sign, a symbol of God's presence and covenant. Yet it was never a limitation upon God, nor a guarantee of salvation. God cannot be confined within walls. The temple pointed to something greater, a spiritual reality, the work of the Spirit, and a covenant founded upon grace. If this message has given you something to reflect on, and you would like to explore more deeply the difference between the physical temple and the spiritual one, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share in the comments how you understand a holy place. See you in the next episode.